we got started basically because we both have professional jobs. We work, and I was actually doing a lot of interviewing for the job that I'm currently at. And I would see a lot of guys come in for the job. They were qualified. They would give good interviews, but unfortunately, they didn't have the proper attire for the job, and especially for the interview. So they didn't make a great first impression. So I kind of got the idea, wait a minute, what can I do to help these guys so that they can support their families, get work? And I just started cleaning out my closet one day, and I spoke to my brother, we spoke to family members, and we started collecting suits to kind of help these guys get back to work. So we collected the suits, and then I spoke to certain job training programs, because you have to find out what's the best way to get this to work. You just don't want to give suits to people. So we spoke to job training programs, and once they trained the men, they sent them off to interviews, but they really didn't give them. A lot of guys didn't have the attire to go to work and go on the interview, so it kind of fit perfectly. They did the training, we provided the suits, and it kind of gelled from there.
Well, basically, there are a lot of groups out there for women, and women by nature naturally want to help each other, so they can always call a friend or a cousin or someone of that nature to say, hey, I need a suit, I have an interview coming up, would you mind helping me? Unfortunately, men, we don't build that bond at times, so a man will be less likely to reach out to his brother or someone to say, hey, would you mind helping me with the suit or something of that nature. So this allowed us to bridge that gap. One thing that I do, I'm in the professional world, I usually give away like 2 or 3 suits a year because you have to replenish it. So, once he came to me with the idea, I said, well, instead of giving it to this organization, I can just help men in my community, men that I know. So it just allowed us to just, help the community, and made an easy transition for us.
It's funny that you mentioned McDonald's, because a lot of guys say, yeah, I'm not going for a corporate job. I'm going for, just working at a restaurant. I really don't need a suit. But we really stress the importance that the suit is not just for the job, but it's really for yourself. You are the biggest ingredient to everything that you're doing. So you are the main ingredient. You are the star. You are the corporation. So we really try to build that. The training part, the aspect of it is so important. That's why we make sure that we only deal with organizations that provide some type of job training, so that when we know we give these guys a suit, that they're going, no matter what the job is, but they're going out they have training to get the job, to master it, to start their business, whatever it is that they're going to do, that they have the knowledge. And the suit is basically like the icing on the cake to it. So to ensure that, then we also started doing our own presentations and our own workshops. So that some job training programs, they would call us in to go along with their training, and we would bring in, we talk about social media, we talk about presentation, we talk about image, we talk about interview skills to go on top of that. We do mock interviews, we teach guys how to tie ties. So we just really want to build up the inside, and then just on the outside provide the suit. That's like the icing on the cake, because not too many organizations in the country actually providing suit, shirts, and ties to men for free.
Definitely. That's probably the most rewarding feeling. Trying to instill something else in them. With the job presentation skills or the interpersonal skills, or just having a conversation with whoever they're interviewing. These are some of the skills that unfortunately we don't teach. We're not taught as children or even growing up. So they may not know how to answer questions. So these are the things that we try to help these individuals to prepare them for the particular jobs. And I find it very fulfilling to have someone actually get something out of what I'm able to talk to them about or instill in their everyday life that they can use going forward.
One of the things that's kind of hard for us is when someone calls, like, and they see the ABC special we did or something in the media, and they say, well, free suits, how do I get a free suit? And we just can't give it to them based on that. They have to be referred from job training programs. So we list all the job training programs that we work with, and if they call us, we refer them to one of those programs so that they can get the information and the knowledge and then the suit. So we make sure that we just don't hand out suits randomly. Now, we also go into colleges and schools, and so we're a little bit more lenient if you're in college, because you may not have the job training, but then the colleges call us in, and then we do our presentations and workshops, and we teach them about different things. And one of the main ingredients that we teach in our workshops is about building relationships, how important and key that is to being successful in life. Even if you don't get the job, the person you interview with, you can still have a relationship with that person. Maybe they'll remember you, they'll refer you to another situation. And most business deals, most promotions, most things happen through relationships. So we try to tell them, listen, anybody you come in contact with, follow them on Instagram, follow them on Twitter, build some type, get their email, build some type of connection with them. Because as you build your network, you're also building your net worth, so it's important.
Well, we don't. We provide the suits to the gentlemen. We work with cleaners and that provide tailoring service and that type of thing. And they actually, we refer them to these particular individuals to get it tailored if it needs be. But that's pretty much, we provide the suits, the shirts, and the ties, and that's pretty much where it, and the tailoring piece, and then that's pretty much it. For the most part, that's their suit to have. They don't have to bring it back or anything of that nature, and that's kind of where we leave it at that point. We ask that they take pictures and, kind of tell us how things are going, so we can, as we would say, pay it forward, let the testimony touch someone else. But that's pretty much the gamut of what we usually use for the program, I should say.
Most of the guys who we give the suits to, and they reach back to us, they'll send us an email or they'll send us pictures of them in the suit. So they'll give us some type of feedback that way, and they say, look, if there's anything I can do to be a part of a workshop or a presentation that you have, I would love to assist in that. And that means a lot, because that shows that they really appreciate it, and not only they appreciate it, but it really helped them to go on and achieve something that maybe they would have had trouble achieving without that suit should being a part of it. So that's really what makes it worth it, that knowing that, listen, we did our part, we helped, and it benefited this person. And not only that, now they're coming back to us, they're saying, listen, I really appreciate it, y'all did a great job, I so appreciate what y'all did. So that means a lot. I mean, that question right there, I think that takes like 2 hours to answer. I mean, basically because, I really believe it happens from the breakdown structure of the family, of the household. I mean, we were fortunate enough to have our father in the house, and he set the example of, he went to work every day. I mean, I don't even remember him calling in sick. I mean, he might have, but he went to work every day. He was consistent. He dressed on Sundays. He wore a suit. During the week, he didn't have to wear suits. He worked in transit, but on Sundays, he put his suit. He showed us how to tie ties. He spoke to us. We had a relationship. So I believe that is very key to what the question that you're asking is. As men grow up and they see men in the community, men in their household who can set the example of how a man should be in life, I mean, that makes a big difference. I think about growing up with my friends. I think it was only 2 of us who had a father in the household, and it was about 6, 7 of us. So 2 out of 7. I mean, it's probably gotten worse since then. So I think that education is key. But that family structure of having a father in the household or a man in the household who can mentor young men is key. I mean, they have a lot of organizations around now where men can volunteer to be mentors to young guys. So I think that is huge, and that can assist. But I really believe it's the family structure, because the way it's broken down, it's been broken down, that we have to build that back in order to really be strong for that question that you're asking.
And to actually piggyback upon that, I went to a high school, Boys and Girls High School in Brooklyn, and Mr. Frank Mickens, our principal, he had something called Dress for Success. So every Monday and Tuesday, we had to wear shirts and ties to get into school. So that, from high school, that set the parameter for me as well, along with my father, but, not just throwing on the shirt and tie looking any old way. We had a certain a certain style that we want. You know, you want to look nice, so you put on a nice shirt, nice tie, and that kind of set the standard for myself and a lot of my friends. You know, this is the way to succeed in life. This, shirt, a tie, look nice, look presentable. That can go a long way, and I've taken that with me all the steps in my career. Is you have to look the part. It's something about being able to talk the part, but if you look the part as well, that goes a long way.
Even if it may not be a man in the house per se, there should, I believe there can be men that still have a tremendous influence on a man's life who doesn't have a father in the house. When I first started working for the state, there was this guy who, older man, who every time I saw him, he had a suit on. I never spoke to him, never said a word to him. I don't remember him even speaking to me. His name is Mr. Phelps. But I always saw him. He always handled himself like a professional. He was always dressed sharp. So in a way, he was a distant mentor to me because he showed me the way, even without speaking to me. So even though a man may not be in the house per se, there are men that can help to influence a young man's life, even if he's not in the house. It could be an uncle, it could be somebody at school, it could be a principal, it could be an older brother. I mean, I look at my younger brother here, and I'm just so proud of him because in my eyes, he is extremely successful, very successful. And I believe that's because of my father being in the household. I believe that's because I was in the household. And, he had people and men in his life that he can see examples. Now, we always didn't do the right thing. I know I didn't always do the right thing. But he was able to learn and see and learn from mistakes and make excellent quality choices. So, I mean, like I said, it may not be in the household all the time, but there are men around that can help mold that child. It could go from church, it could go to school, so a mother has options as far as, I know women say, I don't need a man. I know some people have that belief, but I believe that young men need to see older men so that they can know the responsibilities that they should have.
We usually say nude, gently used, and also professional colors. So your black, your grays, your navy blues. When we do a lot of churches, unfortunately, they bring out the yellow mustard suits, and we had to say no, thank you. That doesn't help the individual qualify for these particular jobs. So the traditional colors, as I say, your blacks, your grays, your blues. And that's kind of where we set the parameters for any suit donations that we may have.
And
then
when they give the orange suit, they gonna like this, right? This is the best one here. They really get excited about it. And we like,
nah, no thank you.
I mean, what do you say? But it's funny. But
yeah, we tell them we appreciate the orange suit, but that's for another day. That's for the Easter drive. This is for the gentlemen trying to get back into the workforce. So. But as I said, it's fun, and we appreciate the men trying to lend a helping hand. But again, as I said, we try to keep it to professional colors. Yes, definitely. Part of the reason when my brother came to me with the idea, I just thought about all the men that we can definitely assist. Growing up in East New York, Brooklyn. That doesn't have the best name for the best nice areas, and a lot of the men and the boys out there fall into the same traps. So I saw this as an opportunity to kind of help some of these same guys that maybe not from my area but different areas, but as a second chance, a new leaf on life, as you would say, to get back to assimilate into the job field and the workforce. Once he came to me with the idea, I just thought about all the opportunities that we may have to impact someone's life. So I definitely find a lot of fulfillment, especially when men cry. They don't believe that these suits are actually free. They think it's some type of gimmick or something, and they never wore a suit before. We grew up wearing suits, so I can't even fathom that type of mentality. But this is the reality that some of these men have. So it's definitely a lot of fulfillment in it.
well, we're very active on social media, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. They can follow us at That Suits You. That's THATSUITSYOU. And they can go to the website, www.thatsuitsyou.org. All the information is there. We're always looking for donations. We're always looking for programs. And we're always looking for schools, churches, organizations to have us come in, do workshops and presentations. They can also donate their finances there. We can use that as far as getting materials, storage. We can always use the finances and clothing. Like he said, for the suits, professionally attired suits, ties, shirts, accessories as far as cufflinks, tie clips, they can donate all of that.
Suits can be thousands of dollars. Suits are expensive. So we give expensive suits to people that are going back to work. You know where we get our suits from? We get our suits from people on Channel 7, Eyewitness News, from Channel 2, from Channel 4. I picked up suits yesterday from a guy on Channel 4, Michael Gargiola. Very important people that have the desire to help other people. But who are they going to help? They're going to help people that have a desire to push forward. Just by you staying here and listening to this, man, that adds value. Now you have ability to connect with us and connect with who we're connected to. Whoever you meet, get their information. Link up with them. Follow, because you're only as good as your team. I don't care how good Jordan was. If he didn't have other people there that can play with him, he wouldn't have made it. He wouldn't have won as many championships as he won. So you can be great, but you be alone.